Right, good evening. Welcome to the continuing lesson on Engigo, how to write. In most cases, what has happened is that when lecturers come to class and they tell you that, oh, when you are doing research, what you do is that you read through the article and then you pick up the facts like we have been doing. And then what you do is that you review the literature and all that. But you realize that after you're going to sit down there and then you are reviewing the so-called review the literature, then you are faced with the practicality of how to do it. So we have been talking all over. Pick up the facts, you can pick up statements, and then rephrase the idea and all those things. So we want to see rephrase idea. Let's see if rephrase idea is also a very easy thing like that. The question is, why do you need to rephrase the idea? In these days, we are saying that, yes, you read the facts of people, statements of people, and then you synthesize it. That means you'll be able to synthesize. That word that we have been using, synthesize, you should be able to understand what the people are trying to communicate. And then you put it in your own words, so that it doesn't become more or less like you are just, saying what somebody has said. But you are saying them in your own words. That is in scientific writing or academic writing. What we are interested in is that you are writing a story based on what? Facts. Hello? You are writing a story based on facts. Like we said, in the earlier days, where we could copy somebody's whole work and then dump it in our work and then we go scot-free. And this day and age, it has become very, very crucial that you cannot plagiarize. Okay? Plagiarism simply means stealing somebody's idea, academically or literal words. So what happens is that when you steal somebody's work, even in our setting, it has happened. Now, even if you do it today and you go scot-free and get a certificate and go scot-free, tomorrow, when it is found out, it could be a big issue. Your certificate could be withdrawn. There are people who are even been contesting for presidents and stuff, and because they were found to have plagiarized in the academic records.
There was a minister
there was a minister in Germany. She has to resign. Are you getting it? Yeah, in Ghana we have had some issues and that the politics and the things around that. So even if you get away with it today, tomorrow it could be an issue. And more so in this day and age, it's becoming even more difficult to get off with some of these things. So the best way you have is to just do the right thing. There are a lot of softwares on the net that you can use to check for plagiarism. Turnitin, like we know, is one of the popular ones that is available. With Turnitin, though we don't have it here, it's a proprietary software, so you need to subscribe to that. What happens is that if you put any literal work through Turnitin, it will try and then bring you out summaries, and then we'll be showing for each of the papers that you have taken things out of them. You'll be giving percentages out of them. Now, another of them that is available for free is the Viper. So if you can see here, you can just go to the net and then just type in Viper. Like if you're on the net, like you can even just go to Google and then Viper plagiarism scanner. Yeah, you can just go to google.com and then you get a link to the place to just download and then install. So what you need is to create an account with them. So if you create an account, after you install it, you have this icon that is wherever you want it to stay. So you have this red Viper icon there. So for example, if I have this in order for you to look at it, I sign in as this and my password is this.
I didn't see it. You're not seeing your password.
You are not seeing my password. Don't worry, I will show it to you later. So if I sign in like that, that is after you have finished installing. The instructions are easy for you to follow to do the installation if you want to. Is our net okay today?
Yes.
Alright, if the net is okay, then that is what you get. So this is the interface for the Viper anti-plagiarism scanner. It's free, but it has limitations. It gives you a certain number of scans that you can do with it, but with your works as students and stuff, it should be enough space for you to do that. So for example, if I want to scan for any document, I just go to add, and when I come to add, it gives me another interface, and I go back to add. Now I choose the particular document that I'm interested in. So for example, let's say if I've chosen this one like this, okay, and then I open it, so it means it comes added to this one. Okay, so when it comes here, I choose the category of subject area. So this particular listing that I've chosen is health, so I go to choose health and I click on OK. So if I do that and now come and click here to scan, it will start scanning, and then when it finishes the scan, they generate a report for me. Normally to save the reports at the same place where the document is. So let's quickly go to some of the areas where we can find the reports. The net is making it a little slow as well. Okay. So if we are here, in order to hasten what we are doing, I know what the article is, so let's follow it easily. Okay, so it was found here. So you see the report will be generated like that. So the same name that the document bears, that is the same name that the document. So that was, I picked lit 2, right?
Yeah.
So the report for lit 2 is this one. So if you open the report for lit 2, this is what we expect. Okay, let's use this one. Yeah, it's now that the report has actually come. So if you say generate reports, you just click on generate reports, and then the reports will come. So you just click on OK. But I'm just using the one that exists for other reports in order for us to move faster. Okay, so for this particular document that was scanned, you realize that matching content alone was what? 66%. Yeah, 66%. That is the matching content. That is the unique matching content. And you realize that it has highlighted the places where those things are coming from unique places. Now you realize every part that is a yellow means that that thing has been taken out from somewhere. And then if you click on that yellow, it will actually take you to the link. So it will take you to the link site where that particular document is. So where you pick this one, you can get the link here. So the person that is interested in checking what you have done could easily find out where you pick those things in and know where whatever and what you have done. So it's easy for these days to check on some of these things. So if the whole of this thing is coming from one person's work, look at them. Then virtually you realize that the person was just picking the works and then just posting up there. Now the way to go is that you see, but I must caution that you should use these plagiarism softwares with care. Now the whole idea is that you pick up somebody's idea, you should be able to reference the person, but the software is not interested whether you reference the person or not. The software is just giving you the matchings of this that in your document against document that it can find. So you, the person that is using this software to be able to do these things, you actually look at what is going on. So has the person actually referenced the statement that supposedly he has picked? Are you getting it? Right. So you should look at each of them in its context. So if you look at it and it is just 2D for you or something, that one you have a comment. But what I've realized people do is that they only base on the percentage and use it as their conclusion. So you say if yours go beyond 20%, that means the work is not accepted.
Then this one is thrown away.
Yeah, this one is thrown away. But you should be able to look at it in a context whether the person have duly referenced the person that he took those things from. But like I'm saying, now we have moved out from copying people's ideas and quoting them verbatim, but taking those ideas, read them, understand them, synthesize them, and then reproduce them in your own language, watching grammar and then content. Yeah, so those are the things that we have moved into doing. Hello. Yeah, so those are the things we have moved into doing. But even after you have taken the idea from the person and then you have done the what do you call it, the paraphrasing, you still have to credit the person that you took this thing from. You don't say because you have paraphrased and then now written it in your own words, so that becomes your what do you call your original this idea. Since the idea is still coming from someplace, you have to reference that person. Alright, so we're going to go through a little bit of paraphrasing skills. We are going to attempt ourselves, pick things at random and then try to paraphrase. So we pick things at random and then each of us will try and then paraphrase it in his own words, and then we will try and see how easy or how hard it could become when it comes to doing the things that sometimes we use our mouth in saying paraphrase makes it very easy, but doing it sometimes could be very difficult. Right, so there are a few aids also that you can get your hands into, but the problem is with lecturers and supervisors that are actually delivering what you call research marks. What happens is that they just take their percentage, and once they see their percentage, they reject or accept. We are supposed to use it with guides. Seriously, if you read how Viper itself works, they have something here, and it is like that with all the other plagiarism software. This is how it works. So you can see that from here, it's saying that is the material an entire quote, a sentence or fragment of 4 to 5 words often found together. So if it is 4 to 5 words of coming from somebody's work, then it will highlight it. Are you getting it? Yeah, then it will highlight it. So Viper will show a match where there is a string of 5 or more words that are the same as your work. So if you have 5 or more words, 4, 5 or more words together that are the same as your work, it will highlight it. That is the match, and that is what you use in doing the calculation.
So if you paraphrase and
so that's the cure.
Yeah. If you paraphrase and maybe leave out keywords like OBHO,
yes, it will still highlight them. Yeah, it will still highlight them. That's why I have to use it as a guide. Unfortunately, we are not in a setting. They are not using it as a guide. Surely, I had somebody that had published part of her own work. Okay, she's published part of her own before he submitted a thesis. So that means part of the thesis is actually available on the net. Okay, so if you do a scan, you go and highlight those part of it. More than 25%, because in actual fact, her work has been published. Her work has been published. It's on the net, so it will call you for the match. But they are just a percentage, so it is beyond percentage. So you have to come back and then redoing those things and stuff. Yeah.
It's very admirable and maybe.
But would they give you the opinion for you to argue?
Take them on.
Yeah, but
will you get the opportunity?
Sometimes you don't even get the report.
You don't even get it. But in actual fact, what elsewhere they are doing is that, like, they turn it in and stuff. The students have access to it. Yeah. So the students have access to it. It is supposed that whilst you write, you put it in there, and you as the students, it guide you first, so that you do the references that you need to do. You need the references that you need to do before it is you submit the thesis. But here it is rather being used like a punishment.
Police.
Like a police. Rather, for places I've seen, they are using it rather as a police. It's only the the lecturer that have the access software, and when you the student finish and do it, and you bring it and you put it there, then you say, "Hi, macho." You getting it? The way sometimes we deliver our models, there are very difficulty. There are a lot of difficulties with it. Is rather supposed to aid the students to do the right thing, not to wait for the student to do the wrong thing, and then at the end of the day, you rather make it trying to deliver punishment instead of rather being an aid to help the person to prevent doing what you call the wrong thing. So, like, my advice is that there are free ones there as a student. Use those ones, though they may not score the same, but similarly, they may score the same, virtually similar distance. So, use the the Viper or any other free ones. You can search. There is a lot of them that are free. Look at them yourself, and then try as much as possible to work the wrong places right before you send it to the policeman to inspect what you have done. Yeah.
Sir, can this software or any other software be used to assess a situation where you present a case which has not been researched on and you cited it wrongly because you were saying that we spell our names backwards? Because the idea is that we don't know who to reference, we just did something. Can this do it or any other?
Yeah, you can use this to do it. That is, if you have picked something from somewhere and you have referenced wrongly, if the person is interested in checking references, you'll be able to use it to check because it's giving the link to those places. But in a case where you have just written something and you yourself have cooked something and written it, this one will not be able to help. But there are a lot of aids around there. I think there is some reference guide something. We saw something yesterday.
Cite this for me.
Yeah, cite this for me or something, another site. We can check whether the references exist. Okay, so if you have cited somebody, you can just copy the reference into any database and see whether that reference exists. Are you getting it? That is very easy to do now.
Yes, but you don't know whether there's a reference for it. Put it in the software.
That one you can just do a Google search.
Yeah, you can just search
it. Your mind and you
just like I can just copy this reference right now. Yeah, if you allow me to. Oh,
because it's a hyperlink. Okay.
If you allow me to copy, I've copied things from you before, so I can just copy this one like this. Okay. And then just put it in any quickly and then find out whether it exists or not.
Now, almost all scientific papers, journals are online.
Online. So
almost all, about 90-something%.
Yeah. So if you say you've turned the la backwards and make it lela or something, you realize as soon as I put this name inside, you realize it has appeared. It exists. Are you getting it? So what about when you do an in-text citation, you're going to do a bibliography. So you're going to write the names and all those things of whichever thing you are talking about, and you copy them. You should be able to find out. That is the journal you claim it has been published in. You should be able to find it in that journal.
My worry is that not all concepts have been researching. There are still ideas that people have not even touched. So if you can't,
which I doubt.
Yeah, if you have your own concept you are writing, you make it as your own concept. So, like we say, like we saw somebody analyzing context yesterday. Are you getting it? Yeah. So, in the context of what the person is talking about, right? No, we are not saying that every part of a research this thing should be cited, like we said. But when you are writing an introduction, like we did from a scientific communication, and you are saying certain statements of facts, you cannot say that you are saying those things and it is a concept in your head. Even though we must admit that for certain subject areas, writing some things from your head is accepted, allowed. But if you are doing the scientific communication that we are talking about, then you are stating facts. Then you should have known where the facts are coming from, and that should be backed by works that have been done that have brought those particular facts into reality, where you are quoting those facts from to being, and where you are quoting those from. Okay, but if it's like we are talking about, it's a concept, it's a conceptualize something. You are conceptualizing something. So in thesis, in certain format thesis, they will tell you to write your concept. In that case, you yourself are developing a concept. Like we are saying, if it comes to the methodology part and there is something you want to do, nobody will tell you to cite anything. This is the method you want to do. If the method has already been done and there is a citation for it, then you can cite that method. But when you get to the methodology and you are stating your concept, you don't need to cite anybody. Are you getting it? Yeah, but when you are writing introductions and stuff and you are bringing out statements of facts. You have to. Yeah. All right. For now, we have concentrated on the introduction and the write-up. We have not moved beyond it. So we are at the introduction level. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. So that is it for the plagiarism softwares we have been talking about. So you realize it generated a report after scanning, and then you can just look at it and then do it. But we are saying it's supposed to be what? A guide and not a means of what? Punishment. So for our other senior colleagues elsewhere, they should rethink the way they are using the thing. They are supposed to help students to be able to do the right thing. So if there's a software that is available for them to be able to use, they should rather give it to the student, access to the student to try whilst writing, to use those software to rather write well, not rather as a means of punishment when you are finished writing. And then
anytime you want to say submit a chapter to your supervisor, you want to run it through a software, a plagiarism software. Okay, so that you wouldn't wait till the last work, the final work, before he tells you that the work is a plagiarized work. You are doing plagiarism.
Yeah, as for their work, we will get even 200%. No, because they are just cutting and pasting.
Your lecturers are gradually getting access to these things, so you should be careful.
So if you want to search on plagiarism softwares, if you want to check on plagiarism softwares or websites that are available, if you search, you get a lot of them. So you see, there is this plagiarism checker, plagiarism software online. There was one that I used to use. What was plagiarismdetect.com? Yeah, there is plagiarismdetect.com. I used to. You copy your thing inside, and it will bring you this thing. So you see, the Turnitin we are talking about. Yeah. So this was what I used. I used some time ago before Viper came. Yeah. So this was what I used before Viper came. Plagiarismdetect.com. That is also on the web. You can easily use that also. I found that also very handy. You can use it. So you can download demo and then use it as this thing. So if you come to the net is a little bit slow. So there are so many of them there that you can use as a student to try and then scan your work and see where there is need for you to be able to change things, and then you can change them. So you can take the free demo and then use it. As it's a long time I came to these places anyway, but you can download this one and then just use their and you'll be able to get. All right. So let's go back to our main business of today. We say we are concentrating on writing, paraphrasing. So we have been talking. Then you paraphrase. Let's see whether then you paraphrase is easy to then paraphrase. Okay, right. So let's start with any topic, anything at all. What we're going to do is that we're not going to be we're just going to go through an exercise today. So everybody, your laptops are on. Those who don't have laptops can have papers. We just pick, you mark. Those who have laptops can have papers. So we'll pick up a certain portion of any article. Then let's see how easy it is to put it in our own words without changing the actual thing, theme or meaning of that word. Before I forget, I wanted handyman. I listened to one guy and then he mentioned it.
Plenty.
Yeah. I think it's handyman. Okay, handyman. Let's add paraphrase to it. It has come. Yeah. So handyman paraphrasing. Yeah, so that is it. Good. So there's a small video on it here on YouTube. You can copy it and just look at how it works. But when you get to the website itself, this is how the website look like. You put the original version there. Yeah, so there's a place you put the original version here. Then you put the new one that you have paraphrased here, and then you check the similarities. The similarities and things will come here. So whichever way you want to do it. Let's say we are students of this university. Okay, so that is the original one. Okay, somebody should help us paraphrase this one. So how do we rephrase that? Students of this university, you are. Okay. Let's try and paraphrase this.
University can be a college.
So look at the words and see how you can change them. We are students. I should have made it students, right? We are students of this university. So let's see how we can paraphrase it.
Another place to get synonyms is Microsoft Word. Okay, you click on the word, then you go to synonyms, and then you use the thesaurus.
So for this one, you can paraphrase. I'm going to try something out. If you're a student of this university, it means you belong to the university community. So we can say that we belong.
But in that case, I see it to be more broader. It means that
yes,
the vice chancellor too is a student.
No. It's just like somebody saying we are students of this university.
Yes.
Okay. We belong to this university community. We belong to this university community. Okay. So if you do that, you see when you come down there, have you seen what has happened here? So you see the differences that exist between what you brought and the similarities. So that we as students have been taken out, and that has become what belong to this. But the university was still maintained, the we was still what maintained. Yeah, we study at this institution. You can rephrase. You see how you can,
and the meaning
you can
is the
rephrase,
same.
and the meaning is the same. You get the point I'm making? So once you understand what the first one is, we are students of this university. Okay, and the last is we should put in we study in this institution. This is even the best. If you are a student in this university, it means you are studying in this institution. The university is the institution. Are you getting it? Yes. So you realize that once you understand the context of the first communicator, you have been able to rephrase it in your own words. And can you see the matching words that are here?
Just two. So I think it's okay. It's okay.
Are you getting it? Yeah. So you can use some of these things too, right? So paraphrasing, as we were talking about, it's not any big deal. It is really when first you should understand the first thing that you have taken, the first statement. You should first understand it. You read, not just reading, but you read to understand what is there. Then now try to reproduce the same thing, but in the same idea that the statement is communicating in your own words, in your own voice. Hello? Okay, so this is a very good start. Now let's look at some of them if we can get them. Oh, internet. Be our friend today. Okay, if the internet will not be our friend, we'll go for the other PDFs that we have picked before, and then we'll use them. Okay, so you can go to Handyman and then look at your phrasing and rephrasing and all that. But then if we are not getting the internet to get new articles like we want to pick, but let's go to our own, the ones that we have picked before, and then try and see if we can rephrase them. So when we put it on there, everybody try to bring his own version of the rephrasing. Hello.
Today, Brofo cry.
Yeah, today is Brofo's day. So let's see what happens with the Brofo.
Brofo will cry.
Yeah. So we will start in bits and pieces. We will not actually be doing big, but big things comes in small sizes. So hopefully we will get it. And this exercise is very important. Like I told you, it is easier to go this way than to tell somebody, then you paraphrase. Okay, so now let's see how we can paraphrase this particular one. I'm going to pick it and put it in a Word document. Then we all attempt paraphrasing it in our own words and see how that works. So we said you can copy things to your trash, and then when you copy them to your trash, then now you paraphrase them and use it to write. So let's see how that will work for us today. We're going through this within the next 30 minutes. That's what we're going to do. So this is, let's say, a statement we've picked from somewhere, and let's say we have this to paraphrase. Ooh. All right, so let's go on. So during the time when the study described here was performed, malaria accounted in Ghana for 32% of all outpatient department visits and 49% hospital admissions in children under 5 years of age. And mobility was about 3 million cases with 4,000 deaths annually. So let's see how we can take. First, you need to read and understand what is going on, and then use this to write your own, words. So on that note, can we say, okay, Fafa, so this is Fafet's opinion, that this is what she got from the work, the one at the top there. Let's analyze what Fafa has provided.
Raise up your hand.
Okay, Mama, how much plagiarism will you give to this?
Accounted for, said that is underlined 0.
Malaria in Ghana accounted for 32% of all OPD visits and 47% of hospital admission in children under 5 years, with mobility of about 3 million. Right. And you say,
I think she has just done a summary.
She has done a summary.
Actually, She has
yeah, but virtually you have used almost the same words. Almost all the words that you found in yours can be found. Okay, let's try handyman and see. Wait for first work. Okay, let's try handyman with for first work and see. I hope I have not closed that dialogue.
Is there?
Where is that? Yeah. Let's try handyman with for first one and see. Yeah. Now, first and foremost, you need to understand what the writer seeks to communicate. You need to understand what the writer seeks to communicate. In this particular instance, what the writer seeks to communicate is that you can even ignore the first part, that a particular project work was done, and then at that time of the study, this was the statistics that exist. Now, but what if you are not careful, you will miss out is that what is happening is that he's trying to say that in children under 5 in Ghana, this was the percentage of OPD, attendants that were considered as having malaria, and this were the number of people who were admitted who had malaria among the admissions that were done. So for all OPD cases, 35% for children under 5, for all OPD cases, all the people who came to the hospital, the outpatient department of the hospital, 32% of them were of classified of having malaria. Among the people who were admitted in the hospital, okay, the hospital admissions for the same under 5, 49% of them were of what? Of the same what? Malaria. Then he goes on to say that morbidity, that is this 30, what do you call it, 4, the 32% of people coming to the hospital, they will amount to about 3 million of what do you call sicknesses. And out of those ones, 4,000 of them were died.
Yeah.
Are you getting it? So these are annual presentation of something. So let's see with what Fafa has done. You don't need necessarily to communicate every fact that is there anyway, but we are trying to rephrase. So if you understand the message first, then now you'll be able to write it the any way you want to write it. Are you getting it? Yeah. It's the figures that might not change, but how you want to put them, you can put them in so many ways. But first you need to understand the communication, what the writer wants to say, the facts. That's what I meant by what? Synthesizing the facts. Then now you can use it for your communication. All right, so Fafa, this is what happened. With Fafa's work, this is what happened. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, this is what happened with Fafa's work. And you can see there's a lot of coloration in Fafa's work. Yeah. So, Fafa, given the chance, do you think you could have improved upon what you have done? Now, Maxon, do you think you could have improved upon what you have done? Yes. You could improve upon what you have done. Normally, first do a draft like he has done. What he has done, Racha, is a summary of the idea that is there. So this is the first draft that you should have done. Then now that you understand what the gist of what the communication is, now you write it with your own words. Not necessarily using the same account for and all those stuff and things that you see in the word. So the first thing is to what? Do the summary first. Then secondly, use the the summary to what? To do the writing on your word. I think she deserves a clap at least. Okay. Who said he wanted to say his second?
Who's the so let it come from that way.
So this is what Raj also provide, and I'm in handyman still. So Raj says that per the above study, OPD and admissions of below 5-year-old kids in Ghana were 32% and 48% respectively, while deaths as a result of malaria were 4,000 out of an approximate 3 million reported cases. Good. So he decided to even try and bring the top parts where that is during the time of this study. So he says the above study. Okay, but that will work only if you have mentioned the above study in actual fact. Okay, but if you are taking the facts from this one and using it as your work, that first part might not even be necessary because you may not have mentioned the above study, or you may want to reference the guy is talking about. That this is the guy. But for the sake of just paraphrasing what is there, we accept that part is okay. Okay, so this is what we get from Raj's work. Hello.
Raj.
This is Raj's work. So you can see.
Raj was quiet, trying to claim there.
So we can see that in that for the outcome for this one, it's quite okay. The only words that are matched are admissions 5 years in Ghana. The 45 this which are, you see, they are low key because they are words that you should wear, and then malaria and then 3 million. You see, apart from the actual facts and figures that are there, presumably all the other words are coming from Raj himself. Hello. You realize apart from the facts, the statistics that exist, and then the location, the fact that we are talking about Ghana, you cannot go and use another name for the country. Okay, and then certain things like admissions, and we are talking about malaria. So those words cannot change. Those are not words that you can replace. Okay, some words cannot be replaced. We realize that apart from those statistical facts, all other words are coming from what do you call it? Raj. And in actual fact, I think he deserves a clap. So he has been able to paraphrase. He has been able to paraphrase this thing at the top. He has been able to paraphrase the statement at the top. We are getting virtually the same meaning from what he has done in his. Okay, the statement at the top is here. That was the statement I cut at first. Okay, and this is his, and we are getting virtually the same meaning. We have not lost meaning, but yet, apart from the facts that he got from the statement, all other things are coming from what? From his words.
Rex challenge.
Hello. All right, so we will make Rex also challenge, and then let's see. All right, so this is what Rex actually provided. Let's read what Rex provided and see whether we have lost meaning. The idea is still there, and then whether it has been paraphrased enough. So malaria records 32% of all OPD cases in Ghana per this study, whereas 47% of all hospital cases recorded in children under 5 years was estimated with morbidity of 4,000 out of 3 million each year. What's your opinion? You have made your face. The English was messed up. The English was messed up. The way people are facing and doing, I think a lot of things didn't go that well. Okay, what comment do you want to make on this? What comment do you want to make on it? Hello. What comment do you want to make on it?
The meaning is not there.
The meaning is not there. The meaning is not there. There are. What's your comment on this?
The meaning is not there. So I don't get it. The meaning is clear.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. If you have anything, let's hear it.
Like it's like it gave the mobility, the values for the mobility and the deaths to children, instead of the whole cases.
Yeah. For example, the first part here is misleading. This one means different from what the top one is communicating. Malaria records 32% of all OPD cases in Ghana, but the statement at the top there is attributing it to under 5 years. Are you getting it? It is rather OPD, that is OPD cases who are under 5 that had that particular record, not for all admissions in Ghana. So this one actually takes everything out. It misleads with the facts. Then the other parts, as you come along with it, whereas 45% of all hospital cases recorded in children under 5 years were estimated with morbidity. That one too also, it's also another misrepresentation. It was rather admissions, not hospital case recorded. If you look at it, that is where it says that what? These admissions are different from hospital cases. Hospital cases include OPD, everything. Are you getting it? So you've lost the meaning by trying to paraphrase this test. Yes, it's admissions. The statistics.
From cases.
Yeah. Case cover both OPD and admissions. Yeah. So just admissions, those that were detained in the hospital, admitted. Not those that came, got treatment and left. Those are, what do you call it? The outpatient. They just came, they were not admitted. But if you are admitted, it means you stay in the hospital for a while. Are you getting it? You put on bed. Okay, so the meaning is lost, but it may be by virtue of technicality, like I'm saying. So you really didn't understand the locus, the locus as to some of those things. So you'll be pardoned for that. Even with that, still we can see that the matching wouldn't have been much of a problem because it's only the facts that are matching. So we'll move on to the next person. We take 2 more people, and then we'll Why would you want to be the last person? Why would you want to be the last person? Why would you want to be the last person? Okay, so this is what we have as the original. During the time when the study described here was performed, malaria accounted in Ghana for 32% of all outpatient department visits and 49% hospital admissions in children under 5 years of age. And morbidity was about 3 million cases with 4,000 deaths annually. And then Blessing has done her paraphrasing, and this is how it reads. The period when this work was conducted, malaria recorded 32% cases, and 49% of which were children below the age of 5, while casualties were about 3 million and deaths about 4,000 annually. Okay, your face. Your face, what do you have to say about it?
That's a name.
Is your face clear, or you are still having a face that does not get you?
It doesn't really talk about what is.
It doesn't really represent the communication that has been done. Why?
Because it said the period when this work was conducted, malaria recorded 32% cases and 49% of which were. So she's trying to say it's only the 49% which were the children below.
Yeah, from the way the phrase has been done, what it means is that during that period, 32% of cases were malaria, and then 49%, yes, I get it, out of the 32 was but in actual fact, what the communication was that outpatients were 32%, and then admissions were 49% for the same children under 5 years. So for the children under 5 years in Ghana, at the time the study was conducted, 32% of children under 5 years that came for OPD had malaria, and then 49% of children under 5 years that were admitted were suffering from what? Malaria. That is the communication. Are you getting it? Yeah. So the first part, the meaning was lost a little. Then let's go to the second part also. Inas, you are laughing. No. What do you say about the second part? Okay, Adam, what do you say about the second part? The second part, whilst casualties were about 3 million and deaths about 4,000 yearly.
Wow.
Yes, your face. Do you have that to your face clear or not?
No, your face is amazing.
If you look at the face and the face is shining, that means that it is okay. If it is not, that means there is a problem. Wow. What do you have to say about the I'm enjoying this. What do you have to say about the second part?
I don't know if the word casualty
is appropriate. You don't think the word casualty there is appropriate?
I don't know, because I've not checked it, so I don't understand.
Yeah. What does casualty means? We normally hear them when there is a road traffic accident.
It's like someone injured or something.
Yeah, casualty can be anything. It can be death. Casualties can be death. So sometimes if you are finding synonyms, okay, look at their appropriateness in the context in which you are putting them.
It can be lost.
Yeah, it can be lost. Are you getting it? Don't forget the meaning of a word is found in a sentence. Hello?
Hi.
The meaning of a word is found in a what? In a sentence, not when it is standing alone. So when you are putting them in a sentence, be careful where you put them. So for example, in this particular case, when you use the word casualties, the word casualties in natural fact was not so appropriate for this particular instance. Because casualties, you want to look at it as those that reported with what sicknesses, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, even though sicknesses could be casualties to malaria, but deaths are also casualties to malaria. And in actual fact, we use the death casualty thing more than when the person just have the disease. So it becomes death. I hope you are getting it. Yeah. So that is the bits of the parts at that place that it becomes a little ambiguous. Other than that, the second part was quite okay. Then you want to look at it in terms of word match. If you want to look at it in terms of word match, this also happened with word match. Okay. So with a word match, we are all doing very well with a word match because the word match we are doing very well because we are picking only the statistics from the previous the original statement and trying to use our own word. So for the word match, we are all doing well with it, except that the meanings are getting lost. So you should watch it, that you don't paraphrase somebody's work, okay, and at the end of the day, the meaning becomes different, like we are seeing here. So that is where we have to watch. First, you are actually taking the meaning. That's the idea, is what you are communicating in your own words. But you should be careful that your communication does not make the meaning get lost. But the word match, we are doing very well. I think if we scan this with Viper, we will get 0. Yes, we will get 0. Because the word match, it's far, far, far low. As we can see at Handyman, the word match is far, far, far low. Hello. All right. Hello.
Hi.
Okay, let's take the very last one. Who do we say we are going to take the last one from?
I wish you the last one. She has really come to
Okay, so this is what the law gives us. Let's look at it. Okay. All right. This is what the law gives us as a paraphrase for the ones that we are seeing at the top there. In Ghana, malaria recorded 1 out of every 3 OPD cases, 1/2 of detained cases among infants between the ages of 0 to 5 years. 0 to 5 years, right? You didn't bring the years. Okay, thank you. 0 to 5. With associated morbidity of approximately 3 million, with 4,000 human deaths as of the time of this study. All right, let me look at my face. You are smiling, it means you like it. Okay, Papa, what do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? It's good because hello. It's good because
She didn't actually bring the figures. She tried to get
fraction.
like her fraction.
does the meaning changes? We are having the same meaning. Yeah, you see, this is what we mean by synthesizing the facts. So if 32%, yeah, 32% is approximately a third, doesn't it? And that is good. Then the the 47%, 49% is almost a half, isn't it? Yeah. So it means she really understands what she was doing. Okay, that is really impressive. Seriously, that is impressive. So you see how you can push yourself. It's just a matter of trying. It's not so difficult as you think. But I would have wished that some of the phrases would have been written better. For example, putting the infant destined under here would have been. If you had brought it earlier, it would have sounded better. Let's say in Ghana, malaria recorded 1 out of every 3 OPD cases of infants between the ages of this. Then you may bring maybe among admissions of this same group, 1 out of every detained of this same year group was this.
The detainees is that.
Are you getting it? So the detain, in order to clarify the detain, you could have done hospital detain.
Detainees.
Yeah, okay. So that the issues that are going around does not really taken over. So 1/2. Instead of saying 1/2, you could have also said just half. I think 1/2 looks a little bit, but it's not wrong. But half of all hospital detained cases of this year group, I getting it, were out of what? Malaria cases. But this side, then you go on to this side.
I think where we are bringing the half, we should put about, because it's kind of
yes, approximation, yes, about a half. That would be cool. 99 is almost about a half. That's okay. So with associated morbidity of approximately 3 million with 4,000 human deaths as of the time the study was conducted. I think it's a very good one. It's a very good one. She deserves another clap. Yeah, I think this one has superseded Reg own. Reg also did very well. Reg did very well.
Someone is making a
yeah.
Last part says annually.
But you don't see the annually here.
It says annually.
Okay, so there should be something here saying
yearly.
There was per annum. I didn't write it. Okay. Per annum. Human days per annum. Okay. All right. So there should be per annum at the end.
Rex did well for discovering her.
As of the time of the study, right? Okay, so this makes it better. So you see what we mean. Take the thing, synthesize the facts, then write it with your own words. Hello. Yeah. So it is possible, isn't it? It is possible. First, you need to understand what is being stated. Make sure you synthesize the facts out of it. Then you use your own words in writing. So let's look at the match words again. So the match words, apart from the things that could not be replaced, like we say, malaria could not be replaced, yeah? We just have it. But mobility could have been replaced, but I don't think it is too much for it being here. As for hospital, what will you replace hospital with? Clinic, health center, health facility. Okay. So okay. Instead of hospital cry, you could have put facility detained cases. Yeah, I think that even sounds nice. Facility detained cases sounds nicer than hospital, isn't it? Yeah, facility detained cases. So we can change that one. Yeah. Health facility. Okay, they say it should be health facility. So let's put it there. Yeah, health facility. Yeah. So you see, if you want to use this handyman thing, after you have done the first draft, it can highlight the places for you. Then the ones you can still rephrase without changing the meaning. You can still do that.
Absolutely.
I hope you are getting it. Yeah, you can still rephrase without necessarily changing the meaning. Are you getting it? Yeah. So if they use death, you can use mortality.
So the last one.
We could change this one and use mortality. No, it's okay as it stands. But if there are still some words you can change, you could still change them and make them look your own. Are you getting it? Yeah. So the idea of this is that it will highlight the unique words for you, the match words for you. Then you could rephrase the match words and then you use them. So you polish them up. And you realize I've told you don't write just one and leave it there. The best even thing is that when you write the first draft, you leave it. The following day you come back to it. And you realize that sometimes you'll be shocked that some of the things that you have written, you ask yourself, am I the one who even wrote this? Yeah. So we can do rephrasing, and I'm very happy. You want to go you want to go for another one, but unfortunately the time is not on our side. The time is not on our side. Yeah, you see, it's becoming interesting. So yeah, 8 parts of you don't know. Yeah. Okay, so what we'll do that the last one we take it as assignment and bring it tomorrow. So let's just copy something and bring it tomorrow. We are taking something and then we'll bring it tomorrow. Hello. Yeah, because it has been an interesting class today. We are taking something and then we'll bring it tomorrow. Let me take something that will be difficult to rephrase. Okay, let's see. All right, here. Let's take this one. Okay, so let's take this one for our virtual audience, and you also try and do it like an assignment, and then see how best you can also do. So this is what we are taking now. We are taking this. Yeah. Okay, so try and rephrase the one at the top there in your own words. Tomorrow, God willing, when we come, that will be the first thing that we will do. So Ghana is implementing a malaria control program with the aim of reducing malaria morbidity and mortality by 75% by the year 2015, in line with the Millennium Development Goals, MDG.
Which is now what?
So you have picked something like this. So everybody can put it down. Once you put it down, and then we'll actually look at how well we can rephrase this thing tomorrow, God willing. So thank you for coming today. We'll end the lecture today.